It's crazy listening to these kids talk.
They've invented a whole new language.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Skibidi.
Oh, yeah, Skibidi.
What the hell's Skibidi?
Exactly.
Do you know?
What started as that simple meme has expanded into a 50-part series with almost daily updates with very deep lore about the actual Skibidi toilet universe.
First, it was Skibidi Toilet, an internet fever dream of unblinking faces, toilet screams, and chaotic energy that somehow took over TikTok and haunted every scroll.
My style is ridiculous.
You couldn't explain it, but you couldn't escape it either. Now, there's a new meme in town, and this one didn't just hijack your feed, it hijacked movie theaters. It started with 2 words: chicken jockey. Jack Black screamed them in the middle of the Minecraft movie like he was announcing the end of the world.
Chicken jockey.
And within days, theaters actually started canceling showings. Fans showed up in costume. Popcorn flew through the air. Managers called the police. This wasn't just a meme, it was a full-blown disruption. And just like Skibidi, it made no sense until it made perfect sense. So how did one absurd Minecraft scene turn into the most disruptive theater trend since Skibidi Toilet? How did Gen Z take a baby zombie riding a chicken and weaponize it into cinema chaos? Let's break it down. To understand the chaos that unfolded in theaters, you have to trace its DNA. Because this wasn't random, this was evolution. Before there was Chicken Jockey, there was Skibidi Toilet, a digital hallucination of toilet-headed men battling camera people, set to distorted music and jump cuts that made your brain itch. It was nonsense. It was annoying. It was everywhere. And somehow, it worked. Skibidi Toilet didn't ask for your approval. It just showed up, loud, weird, unrelenting, and colonized every corner of the internet. TikTok feeds, reaction videos, school hallways. It was a meme that refused to stay in its lane. But here's the difference. Skibidi Toilet stayed online. Chicken Jockey didn't play stay. Chicken Jockey went physical. It invaded theaters. It brought people off their phones and into real-life performances. This wasn't just a meme, it was an event, a movement, a ritual. And that's what made it so disruptive, because while Skibidi spammed your screen, Chicken Jockey broke through the screen and started breaking theater rules. This was the next phase in meme culture, and it all started with Jack Black, a zombie, and one very unlucky chicken.
Chicken jockey!
It didn't happen in some epic finale. It wasn't tied to a character's death or a shocking twist. It happened about halfway through the Minecraft movie, just Jack Black, standing in a pixelated world, locking eyes with something ridiculous. A baby zombie riding a chicken. And then it happened. Jack Black gasped. The music swelled. Time slowed like it was a Christopher Nolan film. And with full Shakespearean madness, he roared, "Chicken jockey!" That was it. 2 words, screamed with so much drama you'd think he was watching Rome fall. But that delivery? It was lightning in a bottle. Clips hit TikTok like wildfire. Chicken Jockey was the proof that nothing is safe anymore, not even the movies. Horror trailers, even Titanic's sinking scene. People dubbed it into anime. Others remixed it with Skibidi Toilet audio just to watch the universe collapse in on itself. But it wasn't just funny, it was magnetic. That one scream captured everything Gen Z loves: absurdity, irony, total commitment to the bit. Just like Skibidi Toilet, it wasn't trying to be deep. It was loud, weird, random, and deliberately chaotic. But here's the twist. Skibidi was made for the screen. Chicken Jockey? It escaped it. Skibidi Toilet took over phones, tablets, group chats, but Chicken Jockey crossed a line. It didn't just live online, it jumped into the real world and took movie theaters hostage. Fans didn't want to just laugh at the moment, they wanted to recreate it, together. They started planning outings around that exact scene. Entire groups of teens showed up to screenings with Bluetooth speakers, blasting chicken clucks at full volume. Some wore zombie masks. Others taped cardboard chickens to their backs. One group came dressed in full Minecraft armor, foam pickaxes and all. And when the moment arrived, when Jack Black screamed, "Chicken Jockey!" the crowd exploded. Popcorn rained down like confetti. People stood on seats, flapping their arms like chickens. Buckets of soda launched into the air. Rows turned into war zones. Parents dragged their kids out. Theater staff stood frozen, holding brooms like shields. It was no longer a meme, it was a live performance, staged over and over, in dozens of theaters, night after night. Where Skibidi toilet flooded screens, Chicken Jockey flooded actual space. It transformed a movie scene into a ritual, and for some theaters, it became a nightmare. At first, theaters treated it like a joke. Just a few loud teenagers, some giggles during the movie, nothing they hadn't seen before. Managers rolled their eyes. Staff laughed it off. But within days, that laughter turned into panic. Popcorn wasn't just on the floor anymore. It was in the air, thrown like confetti the second Jack Black screamed. It stuck to walls, it clung to ceiling tiles. Sodas were launched like grenades, sticky rivers of Sprite and Coke pouring down the aisles. Seat cushions were ripped open, screens were stained, projectors were hit. In some places, entire showings had to be stopped mid-film, not for technical reasons, but to get the audience under control. In Staffordshire, theater staff had seen enough. They banned unaccompanied minors from all evening showings of the Minecraft movie after multiple nights of screaming, chanting, and what one employee described as a chicken apocalypse. In Los Angeles, it got worse. A full-on food fight broke out during the Chicken Jockey scene. Popcorn flew like artillery. Sour Patch Kids were used as ammo. An entire row was cleared by security. The police were called, not because of violence, but because the theater couldn't contain the chaos. No arrests were made, but the fallout was brutal.
Okay, snitch.
That theater closed early. Employees stayed past midnight scraping soda off seats, sweeping popcorn out of speaker vents, and mopping the floor like it had hosted a frat party instead of a PG-rated movie. Behind the scenes, internal memos started leaking online. One regional manager called the situation a complete operational breakdown. Another described it as Skibidi toilet, but in 4D with snacks. Some staff admitted they dreaded each showing. "We can't do this again," one memo read. "We are physically unable to keep up with this." Across the US and UK, the response escalated. Chains began pulling the movie from late-night slots. Some canceled screenings altogether, especially in high-traffic areas where teens were known to organize group outings. Others started adding disclaimers on their websites and box office windows. Due to recent incidents, we ask guests to refrain from bringing costumes, props, or engaging in coordinated group behavior. Disruptive attendees will be asked to leave. But it didn't work, because for every theater that tried to shut it down, another crowd saw it as a challenge. To them, this wasn't just a meme anymore. It wasn't just Jack Black screaming. It was a mission, a rebellion against boring movie etiquette, a war cry against the quiet sit-down-and-shut-up generation of theatergoers. And the wildest part? The people who made the movie saw it coming from day one. The wildest part of this entire meltdown? It wasn't an accident. They planned it. Director Jared Hess knew exactly what he was doing. In interviews with the New York Times and BBC, he admitted the Chicken Jockey scene was engineered for maximum absurdity. Every frame, every note of dramatic music, every breath Jack Black took before screaming, it was all on purpose. According to Hess, Jack Black's character, Steve, was written to treat everything with godlike seriousness. Whether crafting a block or fighting a skeleton, Steve would narrate it like it was the fall of an empire. So when he spotted a baby zombie riding a chicken, of course he delivered it like it was Shakespeare. And Jack Black? He didn't hold back. He channeled his inner rock god, his theater kid roots, his chaotic internet soul, and he let it rip. The line wasn't supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be insanely funny. Even Jack got in on the aftermath. At a packed Los Angeles screening, he came on stage holding a glittery foam pickaxe and told the crowd, dead serious, no throwing popcorn, no lapis lazuli, and absolutely no chicken jockeys.
For today's presentation of a Minecraft movie, please, no throwing popcorn, and also no lapis lazuli, and also absolutely no chicken jockeys! No! Oh, yeah!
They erupted. He knew they would. This wasn't just a meme, it was intentional meme fuel, crafted for the algorithm and aimed directly at Gen Z. Just like Skibidi Toilet wasn't made to make sense, this scene wasn't made for subtlety. It was made to detonate. At some point, this stopped being about Minecraft. It stopped being about memes. It started feeling like something bigger, a protest in disguise. Theaters are built on rules. Sit down, stay quiet, respect the screen. That's the deal. But Gen Z? They weren't raised on silence. They were raised on reaction. If something's funny, you duet it. If it's iconic, you scream it. If it's viral, you don't just share it, you become it. The chicken jockey chaos wasn't just about Jack Black's scream. It was about fans finally saying, "We don't want to just watch this, we want to own it." And it's not the first time this has happened. Think back to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Audiences didn't just sit politely, they threw toast, shouted at the screen, dressed in costume. That was the whole point. And now, decades later, Chicken Jockey has triggered a modern version of that rebellion, fueled by TikTok, memes, and chaotic Gen Z energy. Theaters tried to shut it down, but every ban, every cancellation, every scolding memo only made it worse. Because the moment you tell Gen Z no, you're giving them a reason to film it. This wasn't just a meme, it was a middle finger to the old way of doing things. And whether you love it or hate it, whether you see it as art or anarchy, there's no denying, the chicken jockey moment said something loud and clear. The audience wants in. This wasn't a fluke, it was a test, and the industry is still trying to figure out how to respond. Do theaters adapt or fight back? Because if one ridiculous Minecraft scene can bring security guards, police reports, and canceled showings, what happens when the next meme hits even harder? Studios are paying attention. Some are already engineering moments they know will trend, lines crafted to be clipped, facial expressions exaggerated for TikTok, visuals built for meme edits. It's not about the plot anymore. It's about the pause-worthy, remixable, viral moment. Barbie had Knuff. Minions had suit-wearing chaos. Now Minecraft has the chicken jockey riot. But here's the thing, not all movies want to be memes. Not all theaters want to be battlegrounds. So now there's a choice. Do you build theaters with spaces for cosplay, crowd reactions, and meme participation, midnight screenings that embrace chaos? Or do you double down on tradition, ushers ready to remove anyone holding a rubber chicken? There's no easy answer, but one thing is obvious. The line between audience and performance is gone. People don't just want to watch. They want to react, record, participate, and go viral in the process. Whether studios like it or not, that's the world they're releasing movies into. So the next time a weird scene drops in a blockbuster, don't ask if it'll trend. Ask how long before the police get called. Skibidi Toilet crawled out of the algorithm and infected your screen with chaos. It didn't need logic. It didn't ask for permission. It just existed. Loud, bizarre, unstoppable. But Chicken Jockey? It took it further. It didn't stay on TikTok. It stormed theaters. It shattered the unspoken rules of cinema. And it did it with 2 words, screamed at full volume by a man in a blocky video game movie. Skibidi Toilet was digital noise. Chicken Jockey was a physical rebellion. Popcorn flew. Costumes appeared. Kids screamed the line like it was a war chant. Police were called. Showings were canceled. And all of it because Jack Black screamed about a baby zombie on a chicken like he was witnessing the end of the world. This wasn't just a meme, it was a moment, a ridiculous, unforgettable, deeply unserious moment that somehow exposed how much the audience has changed. Cinema is no longer sacred. The fourth wall? Gone. And Jack Black? He didn't just break it. He tore it down with a battle cry and became the undisputed king of meme-fueled chaos. So if Skibidi Toilet was the start of something strange, Chicken Jockey was the proof that nothing is safe anymore, not even the movies.